Sumingalo Ayangalo, it is time for blessing. We welcome the new year. When new year comes, it is necessary to have purification process. It is like sending and welcoming our beloved ones when they go to other place and when they come to our place.
Đây là cái thời gian phước lành để chúng ta chào đón cái năm mới. Khi một cái năm mới đến thì chúng ta cần cái tiến trình thanh lọc. Và cái tiến trình này thì nó cũng gồm là tiễn những cái gì đi, như tiễn bà con của chúng ta đi đến một nơi nào đó và đón những người bà con đến với chúng ta.
When our close friends go to other place, we have to send them with clean clothes and smiley face. When our family members come to our place, also we have to welcome them happily, wearing new clothes. In the same way, we have to pass the old year and welcome the new year with purified process of merits, punya.
Khi mà bạn bè của chúng ta đi đến một nơi nào thì chúng ta gói ghém hành trang để tuyển cái người đó đi. Và khi bà con của chúng ta nơi nào đến thì chúng ta mặc những cái đồ mới để mà chào mừng, hân hoan chào đón những cái người bà con của mình. Tương tự như vậy, đối với một năm cũ mà đi qua, chúng ta tiễn cái năm mới đi. Và chúng ta tiễn cái năm cũ đi. Và chúng ta cùng đón một cái năm mới với cái sự thanh lọc tâm ý của mình bằng những cái việc phước lành.
Punya Pali words you understand. Punati Sode Titi Punya. Punya means something that purifies, something that cleanses. Just as we wash the dirt of the body with soap, so we have to rid ourselves of karma impurities through punya, through dana, sila, and bhavana. These punya merits are conducive to well-being and prosperity in this present life and after death. And another meaning of punya, puretiti punya. Punya is the ability to fulfill our desire. Punya merits help to fulfill various our desires, the desire for good health, longevity, wealth, and so forth. If punya is motivated by the hope for nibbana, it leads to a life that is conducive to our goal. So remember, punya is the purifier and fulfiller. It is very lucky fruits. Buddha said, Sabba papasa akarana kusalasa upasambada sa citta priyo dapanam etam bodhana sasana. Not to do all evil, all unwholesome, to cultivate good or wholesome, and to purify one's mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So we need to understand which which akusala or papa unwholesome, which are wholesome, which are punya, which are kusala. We need to understand. So we understand punya and apunya, then we can avoid that which is unwholesome, and we can practice what is wholesome karma. The unwholesome karma is divided into 10 kinds. 3 done in body, 4 by speech, 3 in mind only. So unwholesome karma done by body or done through body is of 3 kinds. The first one is killing, the second is stealing, and the third is sexual misconduct. Killing means killing a living being. That means killing a human being, or killing an animal, or even the smallest insects. Anything which is called a living being is not to be killed, or is not to be deprived of life. When a person kills any living beings, then he is doing unwholesome karma. The second one is stealing. Stealing means taking anything that is not given by its owner. And sexual misconduct means misconduct in sexual matters. So not only adultery, but other misconduct is included here. And unwholesome karma done by speech is divided into 4. The first one is musawada, telling lies, telling what is not true. Here it becomes a real unwholesome karma. Only when it is detrimental to the welfare of those to whom you tell a lie. Second one is pisuna vaca, slandering. That means backbiting with the intention of dividing 2 people. The third one is frusa vaca, harsh speech, using strong language, abuses language, and so on. And the next one is sampapalapo, frivolous talk. That means talking nonsense, talking what is not conducive to spiritual welfare. So all these are called unwholesome karma by speech. Then there are three unwholesome karma done in mind only. The first of them is abhijja, covetousness. That means the desire to possess something that belongs to another person. If you see something in the possession of another person, and if you have the greed that you want to possess it yourself, then it is called covetousness. It is not just attachment to one's own property or others' property, but it is the unfair desire to possess the property or whatever which belongs to another person. And another one is vyabhata, ill will, that means hatred or desire for other people to come to harm or to be injured or to die. Another one is miccha ditthi, wrong view. That means taking it that there is no karma, no result of karma, and so on. Then we go to punya. Punya or kusala. These are the opposite of the 10 kinds of unwholesome karma. They are abstention from killing, abstention from stealing, abstention from sexual misconduct, abstention from daily lies, abstention from slandering, abstention from harsh speech, and abstention from frivolous talk. And another group of punya is non-covetousness or non-greed. That means not coveting others people's property, not wishing other people's property. Then there is non-ill or non-hatred. That means actually metta, loving kindness. And the third one is right view or non-delusion. It is a view that there is cause, there is effect. And everything in the world is dependent upon some other things and so on. So these are all punya, wholesome karma. And there is another set of wholesome karma, punya, that are on the positive side. There are 10 of them. You're very familiar. The first one is dana, giving, making donation or charity. And the second one is sila, virtues of moral purity. That means keeping one's moral conduct pure by abstention from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and so on. And the third one is bhavana, mental culture, development of one's mind towards spiritual welfare or spiritual advancement. And the fourth one is apajayana, reverence. That means being respectful to the elders and to those who are worthy of respect, or greeting those people, giving seats to those people, and so on. And number 5, punya, is viyavacca service. That means doing things for other people and helping people is an act of meritorious deeds. Those people who donate labor or service to the center, to the temple, are those who are practicing this service. And number 6, punya, is sharing of merits. That means first you acquire merits yourself, and then you share these merits with other beings. Sharing of merits is just letting other people get chance to get merits themselves, depending on your merits. So it is not giving away your merits. By sharing merits, your merits increase, because sharing of merit is an act of merits or wholesome karma itself. You get merits yourself. That is because when you rejoice, your joy takes the other person merits as an object. So it is a wholesome mental state. Here the commentary says, whether the other person share merits with you or not, you can rejoice in the merits of other people. So if the other person shares merits, you can say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Or if he does not share merits with you, but you see or you learn that the other person does merits, then you can practice rejoicing in others people's merits by being glad at their merits. And number 8, punya, is hearing the Dhamma, listening to the Dhamma talks, here learning some kinds of arts or crafts, or learning some kinds of knowledge which does not conduce to harming or injuring others, is also included here. And number 9, punya, is Dhamma Desana, teaching the Dhamma. Here also giving talks on Dhamma and also teaching some kinds of knowledge which does not conduce to injuring others, which does not go against the teaching of the Buddha, is included. And the last punya is Ditthijukama, straightening out of one's views. That means having a correct view concerning cause and effect and so on. The straightening of one's view is actually the opposite of wrong view. Straightening of one's view is very important, because if our view are not straight, if our view are incorrect, then whatever we do will not be kusala or punya, will not be wholesome mental state. That is why straightening of one's view is said to be very important. We need to have the correct view or the right view about cause, about effect, and about things that are related as cause and effect. The first three of Punya, Dana, Sila, Bhavana are the three steps to be followed by the disciple of the Buddha. The first one is Dana, giving. Among the 10 paramis, 10 because it makes our minds soft. Also, it gives us the chance to practice getting rid of our attachment. So whenever we give not only the things, but we also give up attachment to the things. So by giving, we are practicing getting rid of attachment to the things. Second one is sila, or moral purity, or virtues. It is control of our bodily actions and speech. So long as we keep sila, we keep the precepts, we keep our moral purity, then we do not commit unwholesome actions by body and by speech. As lay person, you can keep 5 precepts, sometimes 8 precepts, and some they want more and they take 10 precepts. And the third one is bhavana, mental culture. Is the practice of samatha and vipassana meditation. By the practice of samatha meditation, you get strong concentration. If you are successful with any one of the 40 subjects of samatha meditation, you get psychic powers and others. And by the practice of vipassana meditation, you ultimately realize nibbana, or you achieve the eradication of all mental defilements. So now you understand punya and apunya. So punya is the practice to purify our minds. And also Buddha said, Ekaya no ayam bhikkhave mego satana visuddhiya. Mindfulness practice is the only way for purification. you know Satipatthana teaching. For national security, the great number of security guards are to be deployed all around the country to protect. In the same way, we need to be guarded at all times so that no mental enemy can invade our mind. For this purpose, all we need to do is just to be mindful of phenomena manifested at the six senses by noting all our sensory reactions, such as seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking accordingly. And touching can be experienced on every part of our body or at every time we make a move. And thinking covers a wide range of thoughts that come non-stop except the time we totally fall asleep. Of course, some of the thoughts are quite wholesome, but most of them are not wholesome. So it is very important to be mindful of every thought so that our mind can be well guarded against the mental defilements, kilesa. Robbers cannot attack your house if well protected by security guards. In the same way, if your mind is well guarded by mindfulness, it cannot be severely attacked by mental defilements. The mindfulness known as the single guard can be developed gradually, just like step-by-step lessons for a schoolboy. The boy has to start his lesson with alphabets, A, B, C, etc. It is impossible for the schoolboy to read a passage right away on his first day of school. He has to work hard to remember what each and every alphabet looks like and how to draw them. And then he has to learn how alphabets get combined into words. Having learned in this way step by step, he becomes capable of reading the whole sentence or the whole paragraph without thinking about alphabets or spelling of words. In the same way, in the beginning, it would not be possible for you to be mindful and the development of mindfulness will be fully accomplished and mental defilements can no longer find their way into your mind. It is the ultimate goal of the mindfulness. So mindfulness is the key to Buddha's overall teaching, mindfulness the key to our overall life or samsara. Just before Buddha passed away, he summed up all his teaching in his last words. Handa dani bhikkhave amantiyamiwo veya dhamma sinkhara appamadena sampadita. Bhikkhus, before my passing away, I call upon you. The conditions are subject to dissolution. The conditions are impermanent in nature. Accomplish your training with appamada, mindfulness. Parents on their deathbed are likely to speak their last words to advise their children to follow for the rest of their life. In the same way as parents does, Buddha spoke the last words out of great compassion. Just before he passed away, like the advice of parents on their deathbed, this last advice of the Buddha should remain fresh forever in our minds and put it into action. Vaya Dhamma Sinkhara. Bhikkhus, I tell you, the conditioned phenomena are impermanent in nature. So Buddha said, Bhikkhus, I'm now getting closer to the ultimate peacefulness. I'm getting closer to Prinivana. Telling you my last words. His last words were, all conditioned sankhara, all conditioned phenomena are impermanent in nature. These words of the Buddha are very important for us, but we may take them for granted. The Buddha emphasized that all conditioned phenomena are impermanent, implying that there is nothing lasting as we normally think. Normally, people think their minds are always the same and they have been thinking since their childhood days. Similarly, they think it is the same physical body that gradually grows bigger from a child to an adult. They believe their bodies are the same as always, representing who they are. By contrast, the Buddha declared that psychophysical phenomena that people elusively identify as I or my are arising and vanishing at every moment. Yet most of us feel as if we were the same individual forever. So all psychophysical phenomena come into existence when conditions are met, and they all disappear in nature immediately after arising. We can find nothing lasting, or we can find nothing reliable in our minds and body. So what is reliable? Reliable is only Nibbana, which is diametrically opposite of all conditioned phenomena. That is what we all are practicing for. How to practice? In the last words of the Buddha, he described it very briefly. Appamadena sambadeta, accomplished through the mindfulness. These were the last words of the Buddha. We should not ignore these words at all, like the words spoken by our parents on his or her deathbed. It is very important for all of us to recollect these words and put them into our practice. So in the new year, for the coming new year, we can purify our minds more and more by practicing meritorious deeds, dana, sila, bhavana, and by practicing satipatthana meditation, according to the teaching of the Buddha. So we have to stop our discourse for today. May you avoid all calamities. May there be no dangers to you. May there be all blessing to you. May all the devas protect you and all beings. By the power of all Buddhas, by the power of all Dhammas, by the power of all Sanghas, may you be well, may you gain true happiness. Sadhu.
Sadhu.